again. It's the 1st of March and I'm one frustrated allotment bunny. So it's been a bit of one of those days, to be honest. I came up with all good intentions of getting my winter pruning done, being as it is the 1st of March, and apparently meteorologically it's the first day of spring. But when I got up here, I went into the shed, which I was really thrilled about. That's the neighbour's now got his ride-on mower out. So hopefully it's like being on an airport runway. Hopefully you won't be able to hear too much because I've got my little watch sit on. But yeah, if I keep going quiet every now and then, it's just to let the noise go past. Yeah, went in the shed. Last week I didn't even have the key to the shed, so I was really pleased with myself because I was organised enough to actually let myself in. Looked for my secateurs, looked for my loppers, looked for my pruning saw. You might be able to see him in the background. Every now and then, just a little off he goes. They weren't there, were they? They were in the shed at home. So yeah, I'd been organised enough to bring the keys up this time, which you wouldn't think was such a, you know, an onerous task. But I hadn't actually brought any of the equipment that I needed because it's always in the shed. Everything's in that shed. It's like the TARDIS, you know. So the last thing I expected was to have left it at home. Just didn't occur to me it would be at home. So yeah, so I can't get that done. So what I've done, I've retreated from the wind because although it is lovely and bright and sunny, it's blooming cold. I mean, layers, layers, layers all over. But actually, yeah, in the greenhouse it is a balmy 64 degrees. So yeah, I thought, well, while I'm up here, I'm just going to put the camera on. It's safe not doing anything, and I'm going to have a little bit of a look at my greenhouse. I mean, I showed you it very briefly last week. You can tell I haven't got much hope now for these chilies and peppers. I think they're what I'd call past your best. So yeah, I'm going to clear all this out, or at least as much as I can be bothered to do, to be honest, because all I want now is a cup of tea. And just have a little chat while I'm doing it. So I hope that's okay. Nothing amazing. Have you done your shed? I know there's some people who will have done their sheds at the end of last season and they'll be all ready to go. And I'd love to be one of those people, but I'm not. And as you'll probably know, the sort of few months that we've had, it just hasn't been the chance. What I have come across is one of these things that's very frustrating. I don't know. I clearly picked these pea pods of sorts and put them on one side to dry, and dry they have. They've dried absolutely beautifully. But what I don't know, you see a little pea? It's exactly what they are. They could either be, in fact I think they are purple podded peas, they look a bit purpley, from the trellis that we had next to the little paved area there that were lovely. But really I wasn't going to grow them again this year. Or there's some of the neighbours' beautiful, beautiful deep crimson sweet peas from the allotment next door. I don't really know what they are. So anyway, I've just put them in that, and they'll do in that for now. Where to put them for now? What I'm going to do with all these, what I'm going to do with all these dead plants is, can you see that? It's just one of these, I think it's an old potato sack type thing. It was here when we came here. I'm basically just going to tip them in there, but make sure I've got any plastic out. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can. Any plastic out. Yes, Jane, you should break it all down as it goes in, but to be fair, that is going to, I will snap it, break down pretty quickly. And I am either going to, what should I do with it? Well, yeah, it's going to go in the compost. I think once I've, should I put straight in the compost? Actually, what I'm going to do, no, I've changed my mind again. I'm going to put these bits in the compost, okay? So I'll put those bits to one side. Oh, you know what? I've changed my mind again. This is what it's like with me, you know. No, I'm going to get those bits in the compost. I like to think it's a creative mind. That's my excuse. Those bits there are going to go in the compost. And then old compost, because let's face it, that's only been used for one season, is going to go in this bag. So I will put this bag on the floor, because to be honest, it's just going to get in the way. So, yeah, do you recycle your old compost? I mean, that, it won't get used to grow new things in, obviously, because it is spent compost, but it'll certainly get put on, I mean, it could get put on the beds in that other greenhouse, actually, or just to top the outside beds up a bit, you know. So yeah, okay, that's good. I've got two things going now. I've got compost material and I've got spent compost. So if I just get as much of those out of there as I can, as much as the compost off the roots, plastic in there, and anything else, because these aren't, they haven't got weeds in. Well, I hope they haven't. Shouldn't have weeds in. Will just get broken up and applied to the other beds. What are you like? Your greenhouse is done. I bet they're more done than this. Actually, though, again, when you think this was, it's so much better than it was when we took it on. So, yeah, it's all a plus, really. It's all a plus. But, oh, they were my thyme cuttings, you see. You see already. I'm wondering if they might be in with a chance. I mean, they are perennial. I'm going to pull one and see what happens. Should we see what? Oh, yeah, dead. Okay. Let me see, I'm tempted to water it. No, Jane, put it away. Okay. That can go over there. If I can get that side done, I can get that side swept up then. Poor old chilly hot lemon. You've seen better days. Yeah. I don't know, I was talking, or I put a picture on my Facebook page recently with my garden diary and saying how lovely it is to look back on diaries and see what you've done in the gardens. And what I do, I'm very good in recording what I've done, but I'm not very good at, this is probably demonstrating, not very good at planning what needs doing and when. So I might come up and think, right, today I'm going to do this, that and the other, but I will not have planned what I'm going to do in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, 6 months' time. I've got my garden plan all laid out and everything, but yeah, I'm not that advanced. So I think this year that might be one of the things that I do. And included in that will be things like sort out greenhouse. You know, don't just do it as and when. I say that. I don't think I will, because the thing is, especially with the weather being how it's been at the moment, smell of garlic there, how it's been recently, you just have to take advantage of good days when you can actually get up here. It's not like you can plan the weather. I've just tipped all those plastic labels out. Jane. So, yeah, I don't know. What do? Are you very, very organised? Do you get things done whatever the weather? Or are you more of a sort of, let's see what the weather's going to do tomorrow? I don't know. Anyway, I mean, we've had all these storms, and I don't know if it's a case of we are having more storms than normal, or whether it's just February weather. You know, it's a bit rainy and a bit windy, and I mean, you can see the tripod's going. But yeah, is that any different to normal? Just because these storms are given names doesn't mean they're worse. I mean, I know, saying that, I know not too far away it's been absolutely awful flooding, and my heart really does go out to you if you've been affected, because, you know, people are saying it's not just the inconvenience of being evacuated from your house, but it's the clear up. And I've had people saying as well about, trying to multitask, you see. Never a good idea with me. People saying about allotments getting flooded, and the problem being, where can I put those? I'm going to put those there. The problem being, when the allotments are flooded, there's so much sewage and pretty nasty stuff that's in the flood water that all of a sudden all your beautiful, beautiful soil, not only is it at risk of all the good stuff being washed away, but you're risking all the bad stuff soaking into your beds and basically tainting all your crops. So yeah, that must be absolutely awful. But yeah, I don't know if it's any worse than normal. Floods have been bad. But it's like, you think, if there's so many things now that doctors have got names for, or conditions that are now named. And I'm not saying, not belittling them at all, but things like, I always remember when I was little, we had a neighbour, and the thing that was said about her was, oh, poor old Lil, she lives on her nerves. And that was just something that was said. She lives on her nerves. And yeah, she's a bit nervy, that one, she's a bit da-da. And you think, it was always women. And you think to yourself, actually, that poor woman, she probably had some form of anxiety. She was having some form of mental difficulty that she was finding hard to deal with. But it was almost like brushed to one side. Like, oh, she's a bit nervy, people didn't like to talk about things. But now you'd say, oh, it's anxiety, or it's something else, or it's something else. But like that with the weather, it's like if you label it, it makes it like real, if you see what I mean. If you see what I mean. But yeah, discuss. Is there anything, can you think of anything now that we put labels on that we didn't in the past? I can think of a whole load of conditions that I come across in teaching. Autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, all these different things that are now fortunately recognised, and people can do things about and get help with. I've lost my trowel. Oh, because I've got a different brush. Where have I got that one from? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Anyway, trying to get back to the garden. Get back to the garden, Jane. What? Oh, you see, already. I should have like a mask on because this is very dusty. But already I feel so much better. I don't know if you can see. Okay, I've got a couple of pop things at the end there, but that's clear now. If I bring things in, even like bringing the camera in and my phone and books and things like that, that's just gone on my nose. Excuse me. Yeah, I've actually got a surface. I don't like not having a surface. Mind you, I don't like not having a surface because I like to put things on the surface. I think at the moment I'm tempted to put these watering cans on that surface, so I'm not going to keep tripping over them. Right, let's put them up there. They're not going to do any harm up there for a minute. We actually, one of the issues that is a thing at the allotment at the moment, sorry, words and actions don't always go together, do they, with me? That size pot. All my pots should be in proper sizes, but we'll see. Yeah, they're there. Okay, there, out the way. Look, we're starting on this side now. Seed tray underneath there needs a good sort. Yeah, we've been told that this year we've all been very, very lucky in that we all had running water to the plot, so we've all got our own taps on the plots, and as you can imagine, the size of the plots, it's just been great because you can just put a hose pipe on, make it as long as you want, and get right up to the top of the plot with fresh running water. I mean, obviously we have got water butts up as well, but yeah, this year there's been a leak. It's quite a long lane. If you've seen the video of the lane before, it's quite long, and underneath is the water pipe, and there's been a leak along there, and it's cost the owner an absolute fortune in lost water, basically. This has happened before, and he has paid for it to be repaired before, but the argument this time is he's not going to pay X amount of money to get it repaired if it's just going to go again in the future. So we've all been asked to vote whether we would like to contribute towards having some standpipes at fairly regular intervals along the lane, or whether we just all go with harvesting our own water. So we are going to vote for sandpipes. Even if it means, well, it won't be as convenient, I'm not going to lie. It won't be as convenient as just being able to go and fill up the kettle or whatever from your own tap, and it's a shame. But I can understand completely why it's got to be done. But yeah, so what would you do? How do you store your water? At the moment, all of these are just going in the compost. At the moment, we have got, let me see, I'm looking at it now. We've got about 6 of those big butts. I know, can't resist. Full of water. But it's just a case of, you know what, I'm just going to put that over there on that surface. You see, it's working. There's a knock-on domino effect. It's always useful. Slant on that. Oh, good grief. Yeah, and last summer, it was one of our jobs. We were going to try and get them linked together, and you know, on a slight slant, so they'd all feed into each other and vice versa. And anyway, we just didn't do it, and so now we've got to think really, really carefully. Even if we have standpipes put in, and we're able to use a hose pipe from the standpipe to fill our water butts, which is the idea. I would far rather look into how we can catch our own rainwater and use that more than we do, because we don't. That's the thing, if you don't have to, you don't necessarily do it. So right, I'll try not to breathe in so much when I'm doing this. You know what, the thing is with this, I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Have you seen all the gaps between these things here? Things. It's just all falling down underneath. I should have put a sheet or something underneath, but I'm not going to. All I want is to clear this top bit up so I can come in and go, oh, it looks tidy, at least on the top. Okay, so we're getting there. We are getting there. It looks a lot better than it did already. You know what? Sometimes I think when you think these things are sent to testers on what, I don't know, but actually, if I'd pruned my apple trees today and managed to get all that sorted, I wouldn't have had a nice, tidy greenhouse to come into next time I come up. Not that this is greatly tidy, but it's a lot better than it was. A lot more off-putting, a lot less off-putting, and a lot easier to the eye. And, like a lot of things on the allotment, a lot less daunting. It's a little job, it's taken me a few minutes to do, but it's something I would have put off and put off and put off until I really had to get some stuff done. So, yeah. Should I shut up? I really should shut up. All it is me nattering this week. I'll probably lose. Oh, my new subscribers, if you have joined me recently, I can only apologise. This isn't the sort of video I normally do, but I really wanted to get one out this week. Not least to say thank you for all the support on my last video. It's done really, really well. And it was so reassuring because the 2 previous to that had got more thumbs downs than I don't know. I was trying to think of an analogy and I can't think of one, but yeah, they didn't do too well. So, you know, last week I was really pleased to actually see people liking the video and putting the thumbs ups again. It is reassuring, you know, as much as we might pretend that it doesn't matter and we don't care, we're all grown up. It is nice. So thank you so much for that. Thank you if you have subscribed to the channel, do give us a like. And also, if you've popped over and joined over at the Facebook page, because we've got quite a few new members over there. So hello to you. It's lovely to see you. Lovely to see you over there. I know not everybody does Facebook, but not everybody does YouTube. So mix and match. And also there is the Instagram page, in which I don't talk at all, which is quite refreshing, even for me. So yeah, I am just going to shut up. But look at my greenhouse there. Just, oh no. Should I do that now? Oh, I better do it before I go home, otherwise I won't. Yeah, it's not fully done, is it? Oh, there we are, that's one bit. One bit done. I bet there's been some of you out there going, look behind you, look behind you. This won't take long actually, it's almost done. Yeah, so I love you and leave you. Let today be a lesson in that although some things Although things don't always go to plan, we can always find a silver lining. Okay, I'm going to stop now. I'll get those finished before I go up, and I don't know if you can tell, but the sun is starting to set, which means it's certainly time for me to shut up, go home and have a cup of tea. So yeah, hopefully I will see you again, and I'll be in the garden doing something next time. 'Cause next time I might even remember my tools, and that's always a good bonus when you're actually trying to do garden. Okay, so we'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.